Hi, I'm Bob the Builder, and I'm here to instruct you on some tool use and some safety. Maybe we'll get into safety, I don't know. First thing of all, if you're doing this in 2021, you want to wear a mask. It's kind of mandatory up here, so that's just a reminder that you need a mask on for everything you're doing. That said, I'm going to take it off so that you can actually hear me and see me speak a little bit easier. Everyone is more than 6 feet away from me, so I think we're safe. All right. The first thing I want to talk about are some of the tools that you're going to need. The one that is probably the most important is a cordless drill. Okay, this is mine. I've been using it up here. This is what you're going to use to put the walls together. The kind of bit that you're going to need is called a T20 or T25, and it will work on these screws. We have several of these containers of stainless steel screws. I'm going to walk up here so that you can see. It's a sort of a star shaped. Now the sad thing is we have two sizes. We have T20 and T25. And you'll find out very quickly if you've got the wrong one because you'll strip out the T25s if you're using a T20 bit on it. So be very careful. I have sorted these, and they're all sorted right now, into T25 and T20. The bits themselves look like this. So they have this sort of gear-like top to them. And those are two different sizes. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but this is a smaller one, this is a larger one. So T20, T25. Other most important tool, a tape measure. You're going to have to do some measuring. It's always good to have this. Measure twice, cut once is the carpenter's rule. It's a very good one. When you're cutting, the easiest way to cut this, most of these things that we're going to be using are cedar or some other wood, 1x4s, very easy to cut. We have a circular saw kept in the shed. You have to be careful setting it up so that the blade is perpendicular to what you're cutting because there's a way to change the pitch of it. And the depth is the other thing you have to be careful of. You can set this so that it'll cut a 2x4 or deeper, but for the most part you only want it to go about an inch into a wood. Be very careful with these. They're very unforgiving. Once you've turned them on, they'll cut anything, and they don't have an automatic stop on them. As we're filming this, the only electrical outlet that we have is over the wall on the south side of the garden. So what you have to do is take one of these reels, drop the business end that you're going to plug in over there, plug it in, and then you can unroll this to wherever it is that you need to work. It's always best, I think, to keep this on the end so that you can plug it in and then just walk away and unreel this as you go. So here we are at the plug on the south wall. You can see there's two sides. This side does not work, so you need to plug in over here. Doesn't matter, I think, either top or bottom, but I always go to the bottom there. And when you look at the cord up there, you'll see a little light at the other end where you plug it in. Eventually, we're going to have an outlet right over here on the north wall that will have a lock on it, so we'll have to have a key to be able to access it. But that'll be much more convenient. Not done yet, hopefully yet this spring. If you're going to do sawing, we're going to have to insist that you use some sort of a goggle just to prevent something from flying up and hitting you in the eyes. Those of us that wear glasses, it's up to you. But if you don't wear glasses, absolutely you should have goggles on. One other thing. The inside of the wall, as we build these, is going to have that drainage mat that used to be laying flat, and we harvested a bunch of that. I'm going to show you what that is. This is what it looks like. This doesn't have the cloth on it that's supposed to be on it, but so we won't be using this. We'll use the one with the cloth, but this will go on the inside of the wall. What it will do is form a barrier between the dirt and the wall. It'll help protect the wood as it gets wet. It'll dry out instead of having wet dirt up against it all the time. So we're going to be installing that. You'll need to use a knife like this to cut it, lay it on a board and cut, being very careful to do it. My lovely assistant Roxana's got a whole big, this is what it looks like with the cloth on it. So again, this will help protect the wall, it'll last longer, and so we're going to put this on the inside. We'll cut it to height or whatever, and then staple it using a staple gun on the inside of the wall. So that's one other tool that I don't have here is a staple gun, but we'll have that. So I'm going to start building a wall, at least starting one, so you can kind of see how this looks. One other comment, when you're building these walls, remember that we're on a slope. So you want to attach the top board to the post and work your way down, because the bottom board is going to have to be cut at an angle. And if you start on the other way, you'll end up with the boards will just not work very well. So start on top, work your way down. When you get to the bottom board, finished board, that's fine, and then just leave it, and we'll cut, and I'll show you how to do that. Cut a board so it'll fit under the bottom. So we've finished building this wall, and I just wanted you to see what it should look like when you're done. Several things to note. We put that vertical water barrier against the wood to help keep the wood from rotting, and then we covered it with this landscaping cloth which will hold the dirt in. And this is really important. As the water moves through the soil, it wants to move out, and it'll always take dirt with it, soil, excuse me. But if we have this cloth here, it'll allow the water through, but it won't allow the dirt, so we'll retain the dirt. So this landscape cloth that we've stapled on the inside is very important. And right now we need to order some. We'll get some in very soon, but at least you can see what it should look like. So this plot is really ready to have the soil returned to it now that we've got the bottom end and the side done, and we'll get it back in service. So if you've got any questions, obviously you know how to reach me. I'll be happy to do whatever I can to answer them, and I look forward to seeing you up in the garden. Thank you very much.